Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And what we have behind me is not only a stunning and disturbing example of how executive power on almost any level can be not only abused, but outright put towards pure evil. And what am I talking about? Well, a lot of people are talking about Matt Bevins, a guy who lost an election on his way out. I believe it's 400 plus pardons. But here's where it gets really egregious. Oh, he pardoned a child rapist. How could any governor be this irresponsible? Now, this person right here, okay, 9-year-old convicted, and he had a 23-year prison sentence, okay? Just convicted last year. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think 23 years would be enough. I never want to see a man like this ever get out of prison. But the court sentenced him to 23 years. Who knows what happens in those 23 years? 41-year-old man, prison lifestyle. You might not make it to 64. I'm not saying anything, bad would immediately happen to him. I'm not calling for anything. I'm just saying that may be a life sentence that still, to me, isn't enough for what he did. Let's read some of this. Kenton County's top prosecutor expressed disgust Thursday about some of former Governor Matt Bevins' pardons as he exits office that included an Independence man convicted last year of raping a 9-year-old. I was somebody who supported him and believed in him, and I'm disgusted at myself for having done so, said Rob Sanders, Kenton County Commonwealth's attorney, about Bevin. On his last day in office, Bevin pardoned Micah Schoit, 41, who was convicted last year of raping a 9-year-old child in Kenton County and sentenced to 23 years in prison. Sanders said the pardon shocks the conscience and is offensive. Okay? It's mind-boggling how any governor could be this irresponsible. And, obviously, with over 400 pardons, many of them super corrupt, right? Even people like McConnell are saying it's completely inappropriate. Rags like Vox that always kind of take this left-wing, liberal, progressive bias, they get it. Everybody gets it. You can't get away with something like this, something this outward, and also be a Trump supporter. That doesn't help Bevin's case, but that's not what I'm talking about. I care less. So now, this pardon list has called for a probe. Absolutely should be a probe. This is an outward abuse of executive power. Okay? When you're pardoning child rapists, yes. And it shows you, it doesn't matter. This guy's not a Democrat. I'm sick of, this isn't a guy, he's not a libtard. Okay? All you people out there that are still making, the abuse of children into some kind of right and left issue are out of your minds. This supersedes that on so many levels. The Epstein case superseded that on so many levels. They buy both sides. I want to reiterate that. For every Anthony Weiner you have on the Democratic side, right, that's walking free right now, and getting ready to open up his legal marijuana business and become even richer in New York, for every one of those guys, there's who? A Dennis Hassert on the Republican side, who's also preying on children. Weiner preys on young girls that we know of. Hassert preyed on young boys for decades. Tom Foley, he's on the right, okay? So, and then now you have Bill Richardson on the left. Bill Richardson, a governor of New Mexico. So what I'm trying to say here is, first of all, this pandemic of child abuse is systemic in both parties. There are predators that walk amongst them. But then you have these other people that are in political power, such as Bevins, right, who think it's okay. And I guarantee you guys, I've only briefly read about some of these other pardons. There's some really egregious ones in there. It's hard for me not to find a man who was convicted of raping a 9-year-old just last year have him be pardoned. Okay? What are we doing? What are we doing here? It's a broken system. It's been broken for some time. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't kangaroo courts. We're witnessing one right now nationally. In fact, if you watched my video yesterday, you'll know that right now YouTube, even though I've now appealed it, and I appealed it live on air, is censoring a video I have based on the claim of tags or harassment or something ridiculous. In fact, I got to tell you guys, this whole manual review system, I don't know that it's an actual manual review. Has that ever been proven? I feel like these things go through different types of algorithms, and that's all. I don't know that there's ever a human being on the end of the majority of these videos that get manually reviewed and approved for monetization, because a video I did that had almost 6,000 views, that was green for monetization when 6 other videos around it, back and forth, were not, had been confirmed by manual review or out, and a name a congressman says in an impeachment inquiry hearing that I never say, that he never says is a certain whistleblower, that gets privately locked. How does that make sense? How is it that in 2019, almost 2020, okay, we're censoring certain parts of government hearings and certain things congressmen say? We're all impeachment happy, but on the other flip side of that, these guys still have so much power that when you're a governor of a state, you can just pardon 400 plus people and there's no real outrage. Now, listen, there may be something that comes of this probe. I certainly hope that there is. I'll be shocked if nothing is done. But the bottom line is the guy behind me, the creep behind me, he's out. He's done. He's gone. He's pardoned. He's arrivederci to go prey on another child, and these people don't stop. These are serial predators. If you're watching my videos, okay, and you're checking out things like this hero sheriff in Polk County, and you're understanding this is the second time we did a video in just 3 months where he's naming off serial child predator after serial child predators, one of which wanted to keep a 14-year-old boy in his closet. These people are everywhere. They are literally everywhere. They are the monsters among us. They smile in our faces. They're in line at the store with us. They're in your churches. They're in your mosques. Okay? They're in your synagogues, etc., etc. They are literally everywhere. They're in your workplace. And a lot of them hide it. A lot of them hide it. But at the end of the day, what do you expect when, number one, we don't have the harsh laws that should put these people in prison again and again and again forever? Instead, what happens? Their sentences often get commuted. A guy like George Nader, who is the Mueller reports, one of their lead witnesses, gets arrested on a corruption charge with the Clintons, when earlier this year he's gotten picked up twice on CP charges, and he is a convicted pedo. Why is he out of jail? Because when the high-level ones get caught, nothing's done. When someone like Kevin Spacey gets caught red-handed, the media at first tries to spin it as he's coming out. It's a coming-out party for Kevin Spacey. How much time did the media focus on that guy that was suing and accusing Spacey of some very bad things just dying? Oh, 40-something-year-old guy, he just died. I guess that's the end of the story. Guess we'll see Spacey nominated for an Academy Award within the next 5 years in some comeback picture, right? Weinstein's not going to jail. Hell, he's not paying a thing. He's not paying a thing. Insurance will take care of it, Harvey. Don't worry. That's the system for the predator class. And this guy behind me, Matt Bevins, pardoning, again, a man who raped a 9-year-old. should disgust you in every single way. I hope there is a probe. I hope that criminal charges are brought against Bevins. And if we were, again, trying to impeach Trump for real things, for his behavior in Syria, especially now that WikiLeaks, and we'll do a video on that later today, has leaked yet more papers from the OPCW confirming what? Confirming what? That attack never happened. It was imagination land, but those missiles we sent in are really real. We could have that discussion. We could have the discussion of him vetoing our Congress and Senate trying to get us uninvolved in bombing Yemen on behalf of Saudi Arabia. We can have that discussion. I don't want to have a discussion about false Russian collusion and some Ukrainian narrative that is so wacky that it boggles the mind. That being said, guys, thumbs this video up, share it if you're new to the channel, subscribe, become a member of the Burmese Brigade. Let's hit 40,000. Love to hit 40,000 before the end of the month. Might be tough, but we're gonna strive. We're gonna try to do it. You can see all my documentary films here: Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, all in the playlist section. Please check them out. And please, financially support me. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. We've been pretty low on the GoFundMes the last couple months. And, I'm not trying to complain, but I want to grow this thing. But I've also got to make a living. And I've got to continue, I think, to bring not only real information, but good information, quality videos, quality guests, not only just interviews that play to one side or one viewpoint or the other, but people that'll challenge me, such as like Mick West, or a great guest like Ray McGovern, who I may not see eye to eye with every issue, but boy, it's great to have somebody who I respect their work so much. More comedians, more things that matter to you guys and matter to me, things that go beyond that left-right paradigm. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.